him, he ends up falling down. Now he's gonna hit me like there, but I still have one of my clone guys in the sky, the other one I had, and he can still hit it from the sky. That's the best way to take care of the boss, is very quickly. Like, you want to take him out fast, or you can go from platform to platform, do kind of like we did in the first Ninja Gaiden game against one of the final bosses of the game, is hang to the one platform or one side of the wall, wait till he comes at you, jump at him, hit him, and then go to the next platform when he goes up and wait for him on it, and attack him when he comes back around. So we finally get to Ashtar. Well, finally is a relative term. It took us, only a few levels to. And he ends up pulling a switcheroo on us. He ends up taking Irene now to another dimension after he is confronted by the other mysterious man that we had met earlier. And now we're going to find out a little bit more about it before we end up heading off to actually go after Irene. So now we find out the history about the Dark Sword, as well as we find out that his name is Robert, the mysterious stranger that was telling us information. His name is Robert. Kind of love Ninja Gaiden. They just have these, to us, I guess would be generic names, but I guess to a Japanese company, they're more exotic names because they're American. Of just like, other than Ryu, we've had Irene, Ken, Robert, just main storyline characters, other than, of course, like the main bosses. The evil forces have these exotic names, but for the most part, the main characters have your average names, which I guess can make you at least relate to the character a little bit more, knowing actually full well how to actually pronounce their name without too much trouble. Now, this is in the maze of darkness, the maze of chaos, and below everything, and apparently everything below is full of fire. I guess a hell reference, of course, and this level is a huge pain. Not only, of course, instant death just about everywhere, and very small platforms to jump to, you have fireballs that chase you, weird rock formations that jump out of, kind of like a lava ball from any other platformer, and shoots little things at you that can knock you back. And you also have the bats and other flying creatures that like to fly back and forth, trying to hit you, and until they've taken out half the time, they won't disappear off screen. There's a fun little jump climbing down the waterfall in order to make it over to the platform. And now this part of the level, we have to deal with the rushing water, of course, going the one direction, trying to push you back or push you forward, depending upon the momentum and force of where the water is going. Which makes this little part a little bit of a pain to try to navigate through it. Climb up, work my way back around. Watch out for the flea men. They really are like the flea men from Castlevania, the little midget, small guys. Drop down to the ladder. And now more rushing water. We were dealing with the entire fire pit, like the fires of hell, and now all of a sudden everything's filled with water. Just a little bit farther down from hell, I guess, is the lost city of Atlantis. If that would make any sense. Watch out for the eagle that's about to come at me. Jump over. There's a pumpkin-throwing axe guy from the first game. He now returns in this one as well. Have to use all the main villains from the first one. Okay, and here is the next boss of the game. This is Naga Satuva. I think that's how you pronounce the name. You have to attack the actual, like, mouth of the creature. And the best way to do that, especially if you have clones, is to get them up there and just keep mashing the button real quick, or use a turbo button if you like, to take it out real quick as the hands just move left and right. It's a lot easier, in my opinion, than even the previous boss, or even the spider boss. I think the Naga boss is one of the easiest bosses to take care of in the game. Now we make it and we meet up with Ashtar once again. But this time, he's, I guess, talking to us from afar. He's not actually there with us. I'm not quite sure how that cutscene really works. Apparently, he talks to us from somewhere else as we're making our way through to get to him. And he warns us, you know, to keep going so that we can get to him. And Irene's telling us, well, don't come, it's a trap, and they're gonna kill you if you get there. But, I mean, you're a great ninja, you've taken out all these other bad forces, what's gonna prevent you from taking out this force in the end? Now, in level 5, the biggest obstacle is, as you can tell probably, is the spikes. Not being able to jump or else being killed or taking damage from the spikes, as well as fire pits and like the fire that actually is just in regular ground somehow shooting up. We have some like Mega Man-esque jumping through random spikes. If you've played the Mega Man games or seen runs of them, you know about some instant deaths that can come from spikes in the Mega Man series. In this one, we have to watch out for some projectiles as well as the flames and the spikes, making sure that we don't jump too high before continuing on. Now, of course, we are still proceeding to find Ashtar and to save Irene. Basically, this cutscene is just kind of a little interlude between the two levels, and just of Ryu running and Ashtar, you know, that classic evil just waiting in the tower, waiting for the evil to come. Our plan will work, there's no way it won't work. I won't actually work on the plan, I'll just stand here and slowly wait, and eventually, oh no, a hero shows up to fight me. Now, in level 5 too, ice is of course our biggest concern. Having to make it through, and just like any ice level in any game, yeah, be careful, the momentum of the ice can just send you slipping right off the side, and when you're dealing with the Ninja Gaiden series, sliding on ground and unstable ground is not your best friend by any means. Now this is my personal favorite of the Ninja Gaiden series. This is my personal favorite of the three, on the NES at least. The third game, as you'll see when I get to it next week, is a much different game. They changed the graphics a little bit, changed the gameplay, and it had like a more campy, I guess, or different storyline. It went with a different direction, and a lot of fans, I guess, didn't like it, from what I've gathered from a lot of the things I've read about it. You know, I always thought it was a decent game, but apparently because of the changes and everything, it isn't as well received as the first two Ninja Gaiden games. We finally have now reached Ashtar, and as we'll see, this won't be as easy as we thought about getting Irene back. And Ashtar, the original Sephiroth, stabs her directly in the back, probably right through the stomach as well. So after Ashtar stabs Irene, the sword has now gained more power for what it's done. And Robert shows up. Ashtar doesn't really want to deal with Robert, and now Ryu is finally going to face to face with Ashtar for what he just did. So here we go with our